pleased to have the National Park Service here with us. We've got Gloria Floyd from the county, partners from the County Commission and the Freedom Rights Committee. Ms. Floyd, I'll just turn it over to you for the introduction.
Yes, sir. As some of you may be aware of, that Chris, that our park ranger that's been here with us and we've done made so much progress, is he's going to be leaving us. For his reason, I live in Spring, wine, and all those things behind that. But what we had, we talked about it, if you've been around a while, you know we've had a transition of park rangers quite a bit for the National Park Service. So, talking to Hack and Chris and all, we had this conversation. So what I asked them to do is, they're still committed to what we're doing. We know that Chris has done a lot. The momentum is not going to stop. But I wanted them to come here themselves and let you know they're still committed to this, and we're still partners. Like Pete and I were across with the National Park, with the committee for the Freedom Riders, as well as Gloria, which is the partner with us as well. So we all talk about, we still talk about this partnership is still there. We still focus on what has happened. But I want to get it from the man himself, that he's coming down from King to Carolina. Thank you so much for coming, man. To come down and explain it. So I'm going to punt it to Chris, and so he can go over there and just sort of navigate how we're going to go through this.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fox. And absolutely, this is one of the most bittersweet things I've ever had to do. Serving alongside each and every one of you has been, other than being a father and a husband, probably the greatest honor I've ever had, and privilege I've ever had to come and walk alongside the incredible work that was being done long before the Parks and the Sky Harrison, long before I got here, and generations in the future will be able to look and see the incredible work that continues to be done. So, to Mr. Folk's point, we understand that there's been a lot of challenge and transitions happen far too often. I've been here almost 4 years, so some of that's slowed down a little bit. We've done some incredible work hand in hand. What we wanted to do was to continue to be great partners, right, and communicate. That's what Mr. Fox is, again, so insistent on, and I think it's so important that expectations are understood and that we're communicating and everyone knows what we're doing together. And so, Deputy Director Lance Hatton has agreed to come over today and really kind of share what the transition is going to look like for the next few months as we install a new permanent superintendent.
First of all, I want to thank all of you for giving me the opportunity to share, and I want to acknowledge Chris Butcher for his leadership. Over the past 4 years in partnership with you, the National Park Service, in concert with all of you, have made significant progress on Freedom Riders National Monument. And again, we're going to miss Chris. It is somewhat bittersweet. We're sad to see Chris go, as I trust all of you are, but we're also happy for him because he remains a part of the National Park Service family. But we have been talking about what the transition looks like in a way that maintains the important relationships and that continues some of the progress that has been made and continues the investment that the National Park Service is making here in the city of Anniston for the development of the site. So the first thing that we did was we went and got someone who we knew and that you, I believe, have met, which is Bill Riley, who is going to be the interim superintendent for Freedom Riders and Birmingham Civil Rights. So I trust that you probably all have met Bill in the past. There was a period when Chris was away and Bill was acting superintendent then. So Bill has graciously agreed to resume that on an interim basis as we have initiated our search for the next leader who will permanently be the superintendent. Now, without boring you with all the details, you can only imagine that it is a long process. And we are eager to get the best person, the most talented and skilled person, and the best leader to fill Chris's shoes. What we anticipate is that in early May, the job will be announced on USA Jobs. And that is a continuation of the process. It will probably be there posted for a period of up to 3 weeks to a month. From that point, I will receive a list of the candidates. We'll convene panels, and hopefully within 60 days of receiving that list of candidates, and trust that as we chose Chris, someone who we knew would serve and work with you well, our goal is to choose someone. We're never going to get another Chris Butcher, but in our process, we hope to get someone as talented. The other thing I would say is that among all the things that Chris has been successful doing, we have secured funding to really make some progress on some of our investments here. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So, obviously, it's been a long process to stand up a new park, and I know Pete, you're like 15, 16 parks at this point that you've been a part of helping, and so it's one of those things, never as fast as any of us wanted, but we're at a really critical point, I think, that we can be really excited and proud of the process that we've made, but certainly I think it's going to continue to increase at a pretty exponential pace. So in the last 6 months, we've undergone a planning and design process for the restoration of the bus depot and the mural building. And again, thanks to Deputy Director Hatton's leadership, we knew the funding was coming, so he kind of preemptively mobilized a team that allowed us to execute that faster than normal. So we started October 1, really before that, when oftentimes there's a pretty significant lead. So we're expecting to close out that design process this summer. So we'll have the documents ready to go. We've gone through compliance and consultation with the SHPO at that time. So that October 1, when our new fiscal year hits, we'll be able to start the construction and restoration of both the mural building and the depot in consultation. We're also working on exhibits as well. And so we're hoping that in about 24 months, we'll be able to cut a ribbon on a brand new, fully operational park. Along with that, again, we have seen consistent kind of investment in the Freedom Riders National Monuments operating budget, and so we're able to expand staff, where we have offered a supervisory park ranger position. Of course, everybody is understaffed and under-resourced, so the background check has taken far longer, even though they're an internal park service candidate, but the background check has taken far longer than any of us have ever imagined. But hoping they'll be on board in May. We're also looking to replace Jessica Epperson, our park ranger, to hire actually 3 park guides off of that list. The River King and Russell Cave on some positions, so we're really scaling up operations and looking to provide those visitor services that we've all expected and hoped for since the park was established in January of 2017. And Bill and I have started conversations weeks and months ago, again, with Lance's leadership, and so I'm really confident that it's going to be as seamless a transition as possible. I think he has a really great understanding and grasp of what are the priorities and what are the challenges and what are the opportunities that we have. He has an incredible background in facilities and partnerships and problem solving. And so I think he's really going to kind of take what's there and help set the park up for success when the permanent superintendent is put in place later this year.
The opening of the weekend opening of the bus station, is that coming back?
It is. So we had a radical staffing turnover all at once. We had some folks leave for good reasons, for not so good reasons, and we had a medical issue with one of our staff as well, and they had a setback. But yes, we're expecting that to come back any day. If not this weekend, next weekend. We're really cautiously optimistic, for the anniversary that we want people to be able to access the depot in May, and we're working really hard to make that happen.
So the council will allow, if the council has any questions, then of course our county partners as well as our committee council, if they have any questions, if that's up to the council.
Just reiterate our appreciation for the partnership. We're very thankful to have National Monument in our community, and well deserved, we believe, and we appreciate your investment.
Thank you.
We appreciate the incredible work that in the partnership that we've had with him, and look to continue to strengthen that and build upon that for the future.
Well, and Chris, for you, thank you. Service will remain in good hands, but like they said, we're very thankful for the partnership and looking forward to great things.
It's been a pleasure and privilege. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Sam, for coming down.
Thank you all very much. To the library board, these are actually on the consent agenda. Any questions or comments asked to these? It's my understanding that the main three appointments, we will need to move those to the next.
Yes, sir, to the next meeting, because unforeseen things happen, and that will be midnight, so if we can move to the next.
Okay.
That'd be good.
So when we get in there, I will make a motion then, as far as the agenda goes, to remove item C. And then we'll take that at our next meeting. Any additional questions or comments as to board appointments?
I don't see that.
What's that?
You gonna take item C, you gonna take,
On the consent agenda.
Oh, at the actual council meeting.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I see it.
So then we'll either take it up on the consent agenda the next meeting or the same one. It's just get some things worked out.
question as a matter
Yeah.
of procedure. I see, two are listed as reappointment, one is listed as an appointment.
That's fine.
Do we not?
They gotta be here. I think that's one of the reasons for delaying.
No, I'm talking about,
Oh,
for
the
the
library.
library board. Do we not have to, are we not required to have a public hearing for an appointment to that
I
board?
think we're talking two different things. One is the one tonight we're talking about is,
Well,
the library appointments are good.
one actually.
Well, one of these listed as an appointment, not a reappointment. Is it miswritten on there, or?
Because the reason is that Mrs.
I mean, I don't have any problem at all with the candidate. I'm just making sure we're following the process.
There's a woman, Mrs.
Washington.
Washington, has already been there before, and only she came out because her husband died, so she already has been through the process, and that's the reason why. That's the reason why Ms. Washington.
She's an excellent individual.
So it's in the fact that
Yes, sir, and she's already served the board, she just came out because of her husband died, now she's supposed to come back, so we could feel there wasn't no need for her to go through that process again.
Very good, that's what I need to hear. Thank you.
So again, it is on the consent agenda this evening. All right, item 3, business license. Grass and Bree. Just Tam, tell us. Yeah, I'm just.
Same,
Yeah.
same on that.
There's one of them on that property on Johnson.
Do what now?
There's one of them on the property on Johnson. I'm sorry, I didn't look through the list.
I have to look back and see.
It's posted, I know. but-
Okay.
Johnson,
If it's not on there to declare, it may have already been declared and it will come out for maintenance.
Okay,
It is not.
Then it's on the maintenance list.
okay.
it's under my job, so it's time. Last situation we had with the nuisance, you got everything you needed on that?
No. Are you talking the house?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Is that the deed from Russ? Okay. All right, anything further than on item 3? All right, let's move on into item 4, which votes surplusing both the police department and public.
Yes, sir, just, I was explaining the tasers that the police are surplusing, what they're doing, they found a company that they can resell these to and actually, get some money for them. Because we're outdated and they can't get maintenance done, and what the company will do is actually sell them to another police department. So they've already got tasers, so this is just a way of getting something back for something that really not, no useful to them anymore. And the same thing with the John Detractors, the public works doing a great job of just turning this around, where we got equipment that we're not using, we can actually sell it back to John Deere and get something on it for very little money. I won't turn to from the city.
Yes.
So it's a good way to turn it around.
So is everybody good to put these on that first meeting agenda in May? All right. Okay, item 5, actually, we have, let's see, a public hearing on one of these, and then these are actually, both these are appearing on the consent agenda tonight, special event retail licenses, alcohol for, St. Michael's Clinic and then for the city at the Noble Street Festival. Any issues or comments on those? Somebody over here?
We don't have to
Okay, anything further than item 6, we have the illustrious Michael Webb here with us this evening. Y'all remember Michael is a former Anniston police officer, member of the County Board of Education. And Mike is here to discuss law enforcement funding with us this week.
Yes, sir. Good to be back. Good to see all of y'all. Really, I think last year I came and we spoke about the Alabama Law Enforcement Appreciation Foundation. So once I left the police department, they called me and asked me to be a part of that board. So I'm still serving on that. And I came and spoke with y'all last year, and I think we made that a part of the reoccurring budget. It's in there every year, but I didn't want any of you to think that we just take that for granted. So I wanted to come and just, thank you and ask you for that again, and to kind of tell you some of the things that we're doing with that money. We're continuing to do the week, which this year will be here at the Anniston Meeting Center, and that is May 13th through the 17th, somewhere in that, whatever that week is, mid-May. We'll be here Monday through Thursday. We'll feed all the officers from county and Cleveland County, and we'll give away door prizes, and then we really started upping the amount of money that we give them benevolent funds. We had a couple of officers that had major losses, family sickness, one of them's house burned, things like that we're making donations to those officers to help them through those hard times. So I just wanted to update you on where the money's going, and we appreciate your contributions, and I know each of them do. And last year, I think most of you were able to come out to the event, so we would love for you to come and eat lunch with us again, and let us just tell all these officers thank you for what they do. So.
Mr. Mayor, I said this vote, we don't need to actually vote on it, do a motion on that. It's already in this. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Well, thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it very much. Look forward to that week, and I don't know what I'll try to do.
I hate to run, but I got to coach softball.
Yeah,
I'll see y'all.
Take care. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Stokes?
A couple things, Mr. Mayor and Council. I did review a memo that was sent to the mayor concerning the old fire station that's on McClellan, and we have to make a decision with this, what we want to do with it. I just want to give you the love peruse so we can actually take this up at our next work session, the first one in May. I've talked with the police chief, and again, this is something similar to what we had True and Jim. When it became more used to Parks and Recreation, we actually turned that back over into the Department of Interior, and I think if we look at what we can do with this, there's 3 options, but I think the option best is the Justice Attorney, so we don't have the money to put into this. And I know this is the council's decision, but I just want to get you all the rules and see what options that we have. And so we can
You said the third option?
the option where we actually turn it back over for them, they sell it, then they can put some other use, but that's the option. I don't know if that's the third or fourth option, but that's something new.
I think that's probably from my position, I think that's the best chance for that facility. It needs to be preserved. I've had, over the last several years, multiple entities, since the new station was built, approach me about purchasing that, or what was going to be done with it, or how could somebody gain access to it, is there available lease, and so I think there is sufficient interest in public. If we return it to the Department of Interior, that gives them the opportunity to put it out there for sale, and hopefully allow someone to come in and purchase it and bring it back to its significance in a reuse.
So we'll take it up and what the council's desire is, and I work with Bruce to attend a letter to the Department of Interior and tell them my intentions, so we have until June to actually get it.
Yes, sir.
So,
Well, and look, I agree too, that the best chance of having that property placed in the right hands is this third option, the application. Yes, sir.
the other thing that I want to make sure the council, I gave the council, each one of you a little button that Public Works came up with as far as the airport. It's not nothing that we are actually rebranding anything, it's just the new department that we have with the airport.
This sticker, you see how it incorporates our RA. Jackson is the one that actually put that together, so kudos to Jackson. I appreciate it. It looks great. But I want you to look up under Anniston. You know, our motto is, we are more. Well, I thought, the airport's kind of starting over. So I wanted us to be here ready. We're ready for that next challenge. We're ready to get going again. We're making these relationships. We're making these partnerships. And who's going to help us with that is Miss Shawnee. It is with a W, like go for the win. Shawnee Germany. And I'll let her be nervous and talk to everybody. And she says she babbles a little if she's up here too long. So.
Hello everyone, my name is Shawnee Germany. Thank you for having me today. I just wanted the chance to introduce myself, and so I've met some of you already, but some of you I have not. But I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about me and my background. Again, my name is Shawnee. I am from some very small town of Clay County, Alabama, not too far from here. I am a graduate of Auburn University with a degree in aviation management. I graduated 3 years ago in 2020. That was not the best year to graduate, but we made it through. In the past 3 years, I have worked at 2 different international airports, Gulfport, Biloxi International, and Birmingham Shellsworth International. And I worked as an operations specialist, working in and out of the terminal building and complying with FAA federal regulations. I was also trained in working in the airfield and doing daily and yearly inspections and compliance with the FAA as well. And I just wanted to say hello, introduce myself, and I look forward to working with all of you. And I do believe that the airport has a lot of potential. I do believe that. For me, it's sad to see it just sit there. So I do want to grow it. I do want to start it from the ground up. And with my contacts, both in Auburn and Birmingham, I think we can definitely grow it to be something special and make it a staple for the city of Anniston. So thank you all again for having me, and I'll look forward to working with you all. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We look forward to working with you. We appreciate your expertise as we work with your valuable asset.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Ms. Durden, also look forward to, hopefully we can get a restaurant put in there and then we can
Yes,
brunch and all that.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what draws a lot of people in. So, along with other things, but food always a good place to start.
Just flying high.
Yes. Trust me, I've already been thinking about that.
Actually, Councilman, as we move forward, this is going to be, in order for us to become what we want to become, we want to invest in it. We were looking at, as we talk about our capital improvement projects, the airport is asking to include that. I talked to Jessica and we were talking about how we can move about doing these things to start bringing, but again, at the end of every year, there's going to be we're going to actually look at where we are with our FEO and where we are with revenue versus expenditures. So we got a plan to try to get there, but it's going to take a little time. It's going to take it's going to take an investment. But if you look at your agenda tonight, we're getting ready to invest little over $1.2 million in it right now, which is a grant that was given through Senator March. Was very helpful in getting that before enough. So we're going to actually put the bones in for that RF training that's going to go out there. So there's always a vision with her and Dave, and Dave has done a lot of work to make sure that this is happening, as well as Bruce. We've got to where we are, but we see there's a lot of possibilities there, and I think if we try to address this as an asset, I think we can get to where we're trying to get to. But it's not going to be overnight, but I think we can get there, and I think in the next couple of years, Lord's willing, I think we're going to see that we jewel because it is a jewel, we just have not treated it that way. Yes.
Well, yeah, I think that the training that can be done there following this grant is unlike training that can be done anywhere else in the state. So that really is a tremendously valuable asset that, for Anniston. Again, I mean, it's important that we do things here that will not be done in Washington State. Any further? All right. Yeah.
I've been approached several times regarding our Airbnb or ordinance and how it's managed. We've got one in one of the neighborhoods that I represent that has been a source of consternation with at least one of the neighbors, and it appears as a second is opening in the same neighborhood that is really only about 25 houses on a dead-end road. And the concern is with property values, with traffic flow, with the activity in the neighborhood and how it affects the permanent neighbors is a concern that I feel is reasonable, and I would like just asking that as we move forward that we pull that ordinance and we see if there's not some kind of language that we can put in there to ensure quality of life for our permanent residents is not negatively impacted by the Airbnb. I recognize it as a thing that it can be a very positive thing. We have a number of events in and around our area that provide us an opportunity and provide a homeowner with a vacant property an opportunity to generate some revenue stream, whether it's the races in Talladega or the bike festivals or whatever it may be. There are some opportunities there, and I don't want to take that away in any way, but I do want to ensure that we are making strides to protect our permanent residents in this process. And I don't know if y'all are seeing it in any of your neighborhoods, but that there are a lot of places where that could be a value, and a lot of neighborhoods where an Airbnb is a viable consideration. So.
You say that Airbnb is not.
I didn't say
Don't
that.
make me go Airbnb on you.
I didn't say that.
Don't make me go Airbnb.
Anything further?
There's one other thing, sir. Councilman Jenkins brought up, and I know he and Councilman Smith also about this meeting of the council, having this event that we all meet together. What needs to happen is we all can get together for this retreat a date, because in order for us to, and I'm keeping in mind with Councilmember Roberts as working in that bill, that we want to look at it on Friday afternoon and a Saturday, but we need a date, a couple of dates, so we can actually, as we try to do reservation, as Myra tries to do reservation, then actually one of those dates, so we can actually start to make some kind of lead in this. So if you all can just send them out on some dates and let Myra know, so we can actually start making this a reality.
Will do.
Thank you.
All right, let's stand adjourned for 5:30.